One, two, three, and a place to be. It's your player partners once again from the bottom of the map.
From the bottom of the map.
It's your dog is real.
Ike Hayes in the place to be.
Hey, tell me something. What's on your mind, player?
You know, I want a riddle for everybody. How do you take a red shirt freshman that's called into action 3 games in, week 3 into the season to go down for your starting quarterback? Kind of not knowing what to expect, knowing that you're recruiting him. Maybe he's a 3-star, 2-star, definitely not a 4-star. But he goes on for the rest of the season to complete 62% of his passes, 2,931 yards, and 25 TDs, next to 6 interceptions in the regular season without the bowl game. He's only 4 passes short of Miami's single game record set by Stephen Walsh in 1988. Dog, I'm talking about TVD. And you know, that ain't a popular name right now. Like, he's being the scapegoat. But I'm like, how does he come in? But you know the answer to that question? 2 words. Rhett motherfucking Lashley. A lot of motherfuckers at the U ain't appreciate Rhett. You remember I was on him. Once I seen that we could score, I ain't give a damn about, oh man, he ain't this. Listen, we can score. And I knew that was a problem. And one thing about Rhett Lashley is Rhett Lashley, revolutionized our offense. A lot of people didn't, because he couldn't run. We see now we didn't have a line. But now, can we really, we owe Manny an apology. Manny leaves 9-4. Tyler Van Dyke is looking like a Heisman. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's literally on Vegas for the Heisman, dark horse Heisman. You know what I'm saying? And really could have been an elite quarterback. But unfortunately, I'm going to go out of here and say it's not on TVD. It's really not on our offensive coordinator. This podcast has been screaming this shit since the beginning of the season when we hired motherfucking Mario. We said, look, man, ain't nobody hating this man. He from the crib. You know what I'm saying? We get that. But nah, bro, we seen that something was amiss. As the pundits would say, something was amiss at Oregon. You guys were already all home. I'm like, hold on. Justin Herbert, in the first 5 years in the NFL, they're saying that he's about to set record or something like that for just most yards, you know what I'm saying, during that span for, you know what I'm saying, a new player in the league. And so it made me wonder. I'm like, hold on. Justin Herbert was raw, but wasn't nobody saying he was no Trevor Lawrence? Like, people weren't saying, they were saying he was good. Do you remember what the draft said about him?
The draft said that he would be a middle of the pack. He'll be a decent starter after 2 years. So the draft graded him. He basically had upside, but he wasn't looked at as what he had. He came in the league and set the league on fire. None of the draft boards, none of Mel Kiper, none of those guys had him rated like that. They had him rated as, even though he was the 6th pick in the first round, they didn't have him being like a top tier quarterback. They just basically had him being like a run of the mill, just a regular decent quarterback after 2 years. So they thought he was going to get in the league, sit down for a couple of years, or if he was thrown into the fire, because I know they was handing over the reins for Phillip Rivers, and moving on, because Phillip Rivers had been that organization for so long. Justin Herbert was going to come in and he was going to be decent. Nah, that boy raw.
I mean, it really begs the question then. Why was Justin Herbert, since we know he's that raw, he still went 6th round, why was he not that raw at Oregon? Which Oregon had a 12-2 year, right? Oregon had a 12-2 year, you know what I'm saying? And so obviously that's almost elite. Give me Justin Herbert's numbers through those 4 seasons there.
All right, so his first year, so Justin Herbert had the pleasure of starting as a true freshman.
Okay.
He started 4 years. His first year, he threw 19 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 63% passing percentage. His second year, he threw for 1,900 yards. Second year, threw for 1,900 yards, 67% completion percentage, 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Third year, he threw 29 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 59.4%. So his completion percentage went down a little bit. Then his last year, the year they went 12-2, He threw 66.8%, so almost 67% completion percentage, 34, almost 3,500 yards passing, 32 touchdowns, 6 picks. But let me throw a little asterisk on that because you're gonna say, well, he threw 32 touchdowns, 6 picks, 3,500 yards. That's an outstanding year.
That's how I stand. I'm almost about to be like, oh, okay, well, hold
That's
on.
a great
Maybe
year.
that's
Well, hold on. That year they went 12-2. They lost 2 games. Um, they lost 2 games. They lost the game to Auburn, and he lost another game to I want to say it was. Hold on, I have to check. But the year, I'm sorry. This stat, you're gonna see it. It's gonna be misleading because of these stats are gonna be against teams that weren't, these are against Portland State. He's putting up crazy numbers. He's putting up a lot of numbers against teams that, are not even like the FCS schools. So a lot of these numbers they lost to Auburn and they lost to Arizona State. A lot of these other numbers were put up against Montana, Nevada, which wasn't a very good school. A lot of the Pac-12 at the time, which defense wasn't. Nobody plays defense out there, especially back then. So all these numbers, this is under Mario now. These numbers are put up against bad schools, so they're misleading. But when they play the good schools, he's not putting up these same type of numbers. So a lot of those stats that last year was misleading because of the competition, the level of competition he was playing. But all that to say is this is a quarterback, and we're trying to draw the parallel to TVD and Justin Herbert because a lot of people are just saying like TVD is a bad quarterback, and
no,
I
they calling him garbage. They
we
want his
calling him
head.
trash, and we were calling him Tyler Van Dyne just a minute ago, and I do
Listen,
agree that he's playing bad, but I don't think he's a bad quarterback. The common denominator here is Mario. We need to start going in on Mario head, and that was the point of bringing up Justin Herbert because under Mario, when Mario took over for Willie Taggart, his first year they go 7-6, then they go 9-4, then they go 12-2. Then they
mhm.
have the 2020 was the COVID year, but they were only 4-3 in the COVID year. And then the last year when he left, this is Mario's last year. When he leaves, when he leaves, when Miami they're not interviewing Urban Meyer, they're not interviewing Butch Davis. He leaves and he comes to Miami. He's 10-4. He has 2 losses against Utah. He loses to Utah 38-7, and then 2 weeks later he loses to them again in a Pac-12 championship game, 38-10. And this is what we get. This is what you get with Mario Cristobal. You have 2 weeks to play the same team for the chance to play in the Rose Bowl, and you
Mm.
lose again. You get demolished even worse. And this is what's happening when we talk about how our team they're not progressing. All of our talented players are regressing. This is what we talking about. It ain't I guess yeah, TVD not playing well. But what's Mario doing?
And
They
people
don't
will they'll probably say, well, the defense and Ruben Bain. And I'm like, yeah, all that is true. But not even just TBD. You don't feel like the play calling has taken you don't feel like Dawson is not even really calling. They were vanilla early on, but it was the beginning of the season. But it's like this dude comes from the air raid. And it's another particular show. I'm gonna call out Zoe because Zoe pointed this out. He said, look, open up the playbook. You can tell that Mario is strangling the coaches because at the end of the day, call TVD what you want. When we compare SMU this year, because I'm sticking on Red Lashley. I'm like, look, Red Lashley listen, we came in. When Red Lashley came in, we were like 90th in scoring. Red Lashley gets here, we're 26th in scoring, averaging 34 points, and we did that in 2020 and 2021. You know what I'm saying? We were 32nd that first year, 2020, 439 yards per game, 2021 or 20 Yeah, 2021 we improved to 22nd, and we're 448 yards in 2021. So you're not only basically Manny did the same thing, right? Manny, we were getting blown out by certain schools, and I'm not gonna say there weren't crazy losses those years. What I am saying is that the reason that we got Rhett Lashley because he had just did that at SMU. He took SMU to like 15th in scoring. They were averaging something like 41. But Manny, one thing we can say about Manny is that Manny, and it works against you because we get the pressure because every fan gonna think they're a coach. Everybody gonna feel like I can do this. And sometimes the way that Mario does boneheaded stuff, as far as not taking victory formation, we like, look, give me $1 million. You see what I'm saying? I do that. Listen, I'm gonna get the one we're supposed to get. But that being stated, Shannon Dawson comes from air raid. When we look at the Lane Kiffins, when we look at the Rhett Lashley, you're not going to tell me that those offenses don't put up points, right? When we even look at the type of quarterback we have, his first offensive coordinator is Rhett Lashley. So, okay, you get Gaddis, right? Why do you get Gaddis? I can analyze it how we want, but it's all done in that same style. Well, this is what worked at Oregon, so this is what I want to have. And that's why I even look back at Gaddis like, well, can I really judge him? Y'all have to remember, when Jimbo Fisher was running offenses at Florida State, them offensive coordinators wasn't calling not a nan play, or they can only call a certain number of things. So I don't claim to have the inner workings of what Mario is going on, but when you look at his record, when we start to look at the mistakes that are made, preparations, especially when we're looking at offense, I remember you said something against Utah. They had like 100 yards of like offense, 145, and then they only had 10 more with that turnaround. So I'm like, look, at the end of the day, if you get a race car that works, and it worked with one particular driver, you can't never say that the car don't work. Is the car playing bad? Yes, it's not being driven right. But at his earliest red shirt freshman playing well, we had an offense that worked. And so Dawson is not giving us Rhett Lashley, but it doesn't even really seem like he's being able to really call the plays that he wants to call. Either way, I think even if you get Emory in there, y'all are going to understand like Justin Herbert is a generational talent. Mm-hmm. I think TDE is TVD rather is first round talent. Do I think he's Justin Herbert? No, I don't think that at all. I don't think that motherfucking at all. But man, fuck it. If I could just speak plainly, look, man, Mario don't know how to run the offense. He's not letting Dawson do what he's supposed to do. That's the only explanation I can come with because I'm like, look, the man, whatever the rhythm, even when you go back to those tapes, you got somebody who could ball. And I'm not saying that Mario can't go out here and get another quarterback for next year, but all I'm saying is if he's not Justin Herbert, what is our offense going to look like? Do you fire the coordinator again? Because you can keep firing coordinators. Manny got fired on a 9-4 record where the offense looked good. The offense looked good. You really only bought in Mario, paid him $8 or $9 million more so you can get more of that. Now, I definitely understand the recruiting all day, but I'm just looking at it like, look, we already told y'all like it was gonna go like this with Mario. Now, did we know how it was gonna look and when it manifests? I'm like, looking, he's starting to disappoint me. I'm thinking at best we had 3 or 4 losses this year. I was like, look, this could be a 9-4 year, which if we play decently, I don't mind being 7-2 right now. I don't mind losing to North Carolina and you know what I'm saying? The what is our other loss to
Georgia Tech?
No, Georgia Tech loss. Georgia. I'd rather listen. Can we switch out the Georgia loss for this loss?
Yeah.
Nah, you still want points on the board. You want to lose. Miami at least wants to know, against Texas A&M, you guys put up 50, right? We ain't even trying to say, 48. But you like, nah, we want to get killed when we put up 30.
I just think that, I mean, and to kind of piggyback what you're saying, like, is Mario the head guy or is he not? Because sometimes you need the head guy to step in and kind of manage how the game. This is time management, situational football. But you need the offensive play caller to do what he do. The thing that Rhett Lashley that we loved about him is that he opened it up, right? TVD was in, and we had a terrible drop problem. Mark Harley, as much as we loved him, he dropped passes. D. Wiggins dropped passes. Romello Brinson drop passes. Keyshawn Smith, drop passes. Whoever else we want to call out, Pope, drop passes. Everybody was dropping passes out there. The only reliable hand we had out there was Charleston Rambo. Um, but he did, and he would get a couple deep passes, but they opened up the offense. Red Lashley opened up the offense. We just didn't have offensive line, and we didn't have no run game. But that wasn't his specialty. So this is what Mario, who's supposed to be your offensive line guru, this is where you build from, because our offense was explosive. Our offense was dynamic. We had Jalen Langton, we had Cam Harris, we had Don Chaney. I can't remember the other running back we had at the time, but we had a pretty solid running back room. And we had was Brevin Jordan and Will Mallory. Yeah, they were both was good.
Yeah.
We had Brevin Jordan and Will
Who's doing
Mallory.
the tight ends then, right? Everybody
we was throwing the tight ends. Brevin Jordan ended up being a high draft pick. Will Mallory is doing his thing in the league right now, and we had Arroyo coming into the league. So we knew what we had, and we loved that Rhett was opening up the offense, and we needed that. But based off the talent that we have, we should still be able to do that. We should still be able to have like an offense that is wide open. We can spread the ball. We got plenty of playmakers, and like either Shannon Dawson can call the plays or Mario. Mario's gonna have to make a choice. Do you want to be the big dog or not? Because the big dog makes the big decisions. The big dog says, "Hey, my quarterback not playing well. We benching him." Because Nick Saban, being the big dog, when the national championship was on the line, Jalen Hurts, he didn't play. He put Tua in. Tua threw the touchdown to get them to the national championship, not Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts was playing pretty well, but he knew he needed to make a call, and he made the call. That was a big dog call. And Mario want to be the big dog. You're gonna be the big dog. You got to be the big dog. That means, hey, I got somebody who's lethal as a play caller. Let him loose. I got a quarterback who can be. He was a Heisman. They were starting a Heisman campaign for him. You can't be ACC Rookie of the Year. You can't be on all these high draft boards if you ain't that guy like that. We just can't be like, oh, he's trash. Let's sit him on the ground. But you gotta let him use all the weapons at his disposal. That's Brashard Smith. That's Ray Joseph. That's Ja'Cory Brown. Get him in the game. We throwing to everybody, all our receivers. Harold. We throwing to George. We throwing to Kobe Young. If we gotta go, air raid. We gotta go primarily pass, and we can open up the run game off of that. But he's trying. I don't know what I think he want to be.
But don't you see it though? I think you kind of proving this. You proving this. When we look at it, all this stuff worked, right? Mario came in and wanted to make the big dog call. That's not the. Mario basically said, "I understand you went 9-4, but we're gonna do it my way now." And we're starting to see like, okay, when you say you want to do it your way, were you really installing those systems at Oregon, or did you and Willie Taggart kind of author some and you got lucky here and there? But even when we're looking at those losses, so I guess my bigger question is, it's one thing to make big dog decisions, but you came in with a working offense. Who says, you know what? Who said, listen, I don't know. Listen, once again, we not coaches. Ain't even much coach. You feel me? Little League. It's a lot of dope podcasters that can break things down. And I love that. But some of this is just common sense. It's like not taking a knee. Well, if this part of the car is fast, why do I need to change the engine? All I need to do is work on the brakes. They running up the middle. Okay, cool. One thing I can say is that you can't run up the middle like that unless you're a great team. Although Florida State about to run it up the middle next week. Amen. Hey, that being stated though, nah, man, this thing already had working. To me, it was no reason to go 5-7. There's no reason to not take a good offense that's explosive and go defense heavy. And then I know our offensive coordinator not stupid. You're not going to convince me that Shannon Dawson don't know this. These boys make millions of dollars. So you're not telling me nothing that I know that they haven't seen. So I feel like we start to get here with ego. Because I'm like, well, you just need to win. No, you're going to win your way. I understand when people are looking at Michigan, but now we can't even trust the Michigan model because we don't know if y'all were stealing signs of like, is Michigan that good or do they know what play is coming? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. All I'm saying is there was no reason to go 5 or 7 and even these little offensive outputs when it's like, damn, like Manny and them left you with these weapons. You feel me?
Yeah.
Just go ahead and execute with these weapons. Go ahead and just use the receivers. You use the tight end. They ain't just decoys. They can block certain plays. We ain't listen. We was running wheel routes when we ain't have no lines with my running back. So it's not. So and it makes sense because where is Knighton at? Is Knighton not playing anymore? Do you know where he might be?
And he balling at SMU right now.
Well,
Last
SMU.
year.
Let's talk about SMU. Let's talk about the last person to have an explosive offense at Miami is now has an explosive offense at SMU. What's SMU's record this year?
They 7-2 right now. They 5-0 in their conference. Them boys score 40 points a game. They rank 15th in the nation in offensive categories. The boys is like Red gonna do what they do.
Come on now, this SMU. SMU don't got no type of recruiting classes like UM. I don't have to talk to be like, look, this is just another case where a team don't even have the same athletes. But Rhett Lashley was the truth. So it's like, okay, all I gotta do is mimic that, right? When you go to Alabama now, when you really think about it, Lane Kiffin, okay, cool, I'm gonna open up the offense. When Steve Sarkisian came through, he just went on ahead and played on that. You know what I'm saying? He didn't say, nah, we're gonna do it my way. But I'm starting to really realize on some real, and this ain't even no extra shots. Bro, I know when you be looking at them people and they be like, oh yeah, he's the OC, he's the co-OC, he's the co-defensive coordinator. Like, bro, you're talking to me about somebody who they got the credentials, but they ain't really architecting no offense. They're not really disciples of this shit. And I mean, like, why are some of the fans delusional in the sense like, okay, well, I know this dude is not no offensive guru. He's supposed to be an O-line guru. But I'm like, look, you know it didn't work here. Listen, it was a reason why we went in on the victory formation because we like, look, it ain't even about the fact that he did it. It's his second time doing it. This man want to do shit his way, but I don't think he really has a well-oiled blueprint.
Well, he can't. That's the point of this video. We looking at the parallels of what he did because we tend to forget, his tenure at Oregon, and we remember he had a couple big wins. They went into Ohio State, got a big win. I know they won a Rose Bowl one year, but outside of that, they were underachieving most times. When they had kind of gotten hot and gotten high in the rankings, they would end up losing somewhere, losing to some team. But when you're out in Oregon, expectations is to be a good team, but you may not be having national championship aspirations every year. But it's Oregon, so they'll have some good teams, some good years. Look at them right now. But with Mario, you were expecting with the talent that they have for them to do better. And every year they find a way to come up short and continue to come up short. And this is what's happening here in Miami. You see the talent. All right, you see Mario is a good recruiter. I give him that. That boy can recruit. But then you see the talent on the field, and it's just not adding up. It's like, where isn't the talent adding up to victories or players playing well consistently? And I just can't put it all on TVD. He's not playing well. But this is where coaching comes into play. All right, straight up. We didn't talk bad, but we're talking like Nick Saban is going to have to do a real coaching job this year because Jalen Milroe cannot throw the ball. He cannot pass. He is not a thrower of the football, but all of a sudden, each week you see him getting a little bit better. They putting in little wrinkles to empower him. He throws the deep ball well, so they give him some deep shots. He starts completing a couple of deep shots, a couple of them little underneath those 10 to 15-yard passes get a
You
little
remember
bit
how
better.
they didn't want to run them? Remember the first three
Now,
games
now
when
they're
this
running.
pocket, they changed that because they realized he's gonna have to get those first downs with his feet every now and then again.
But also now he getting first downs with his feet. Now the defense is off balance because he's still hitting them long passes. He's still hitting them long passes. Now, because he's hitting them long passes, he getting out, he's running because that's something that's in his bag too. Now he's hitting them intermediate passes now. Because I
And
see him, he hitting some intermediate passes. So I'm like, damn. All right. So all his deficiencies, they covered it up by playing to his strengths. That's all you got to do. Empower that man. Do what to give him some stuff that feels good to him. So now he's out there. Now he's just playing football. That's what you want to see. You want to see them boys playing ball. And when them boys playing ball, that's when you out there. Your talent takes over.
I got a question. Don't Mario come from the Nick Saban coaching tree?
I don't know, man. Oh
I
no.
mean, come on,
Oh no.
it's on his resume. I'm just saying, I'm checking your resume. This is why we said, like, nah, bro, come on, bro. I'm checking his resume. Resume say you work for Nick. You had an intimate understanding about how Nick Saban is coached. You learn from the best. What do you call a student? You see what I'm saying? That learn from the best, but then you make these type of mistakes. See, we not no podcast or any type of show where we just need to win. No, bruh. I'm looking at you watching the popcorn. You see what I'm saying? Like, well, damn, we from Miami. I know I can get these just to make some of these. So we like, bro, you can't get these boys better. You getting 8 or 9 million. Hold on. Our Lord and Savior on the board of trustees thought it so fit that the first time we spend some money, God, we gonna get the best shiny new thing that we can get. We gonna go get the best coach. So any other time, you did not want to pay no money, right? You did not want to get Bush Davis. Who else did they not want to interview for?
Urban Meyer.
You did not want to, and I get that one. But the first time you spend money, you don't do no thorough or no checking or no resume to the point where it's not about losing. If we would have lost the game and we lost 34-45, or we saw some mistakes. But I always want to say this, and I'm going to say this. Oregon tried to tell us. Oregon is our friends. We don't need to hate on them. Yeah, I ain't like what Danny Land was saying about Prime, but now Oregon fans tried to tell us, and they was happy, and they told us it was going to happen. And Oregon has been sitting in the room the whole time watching Miami eating popcorn. They got a little surprise for a minute there. It was like, yep, he did this here. So now that we losing again, we like, damn, okay, I did not tell you. I told you, thank you. Thank you for buying him out. Because you didn't just pay for him. You paid to get him away from us. Danny Lanning, like, look, I'm going to get me a quarterback. So he done took a quarterback that with Bo Nix. I remember when people were not even messing with Bo Nix. I remember when they were saying Bo Nix was this and this and that. Man, they got Bo Nix playing like, look, I'm not going to win the Heisman, but I'm going to give you top 10 in efficiency. I'm like, oh, my gosh, damn. And he was at Auburn. What good coaching to do for you, huh? Not even good coaching. Maybe not even great coaching. That might be good coaching, right? So we ain't saying you got to be Nick Saban, but it's like, but even though you studied under him, but damn, they got Oregon clicking out there. Oregon looks like they're probably going to play. They only got one loss. I think it's only so we look like. Let us tell you now. Everybody can't see a Pac-12 rematch with Washington and Oregon again.
I mean,
you know. But look, man, we ain't trying to. You know what I'm saying? We don't win there. But all we saying is that Justin Herbert didn't play like the great player he is, and neither is TVD. But Justin Herbert was a generational talent. TVD just need a good offensive. If he gonna do it as a freshman, ain't no way in hell. 200,000, $250,000 later. But we gotta scrutinize everybody, and I'm not mad if he got to be benched. But all I'm trying to say is, Emory, if you don't do what we supposed to do, then he not gonna reach his potential. So we just gonna be running off of recruiting talent.
And that's the last kind of point, because a lot of people are just like, just go ahead and play Emory Williams, play Ja'Cory. But I'm just like, all right, so let's say you start Emory Williams next week against Florida State, right? And he's the future. But is he the future of the program? Let's say he goes out there and he just stinks it up. So are you going to be like, well, start Ja'Cory, bring TVD back? Like, I'm just like, what do you do? Because I'm just like, if you put Emory Williams out there, he stinks it up. He just looks terrible against FSU. Or you just be like, well, he ain't the future neither. We need somebody else. You put Ja'Cory Brown, who I don't know why. I think he out of here. I think he gone. I don't think he's staying. You put him out there and he stinks it up. Then what? Who are you turning to? What are you turning to?
What's got a better one for you? TVD already was going to leave after the year he had last year. It was big talk during the season. You know, we was winning. Ain't nobody talk about. Let's circle back to that. Bruh, if y'all bench me and I don't make this bread, I know I got the talent. I know. So I do try to transfer. And I really got to talk to Rhett. I go try to go back to SMU and try to see if the first dude I made magic with, and that's not possible. I go through a system like that. But in this era, listen, you know, I've always been big on certain Miami quarterbacks when they didn't get there, you know what I'm saying, do for certain things. I ain't going to name nobody.
You love Jaron Williams. Go ahead.
Yeah, I did. Dog ain't get his fair share neither. But we be running through, you feel me, offensive court. Listen, when you put quarterbacks in situations where we got 2 and 3 offensive coordinators. That don't work. It just becomes the question like, look, why you can't take what you got if you're a quarterback whisperer or go get that? And Manny didn't do it the first time around. He went and got Dan Enos, but he hit fire with Red Lashley and he didn't try to handicap him or control him. So that's just my last thoughts on it, man. No matter what you decide to do, until we're well coached, which Mario is not going to be, because anybody who will study under the school and not use what he knows, not do simple things, get beat the same way. Look, man, I don't even think Mario a bad person. I bet Mario is cool, I think, as an individual, but strictly speaking as a coach, man, that man ain't the truth. We stuck. We fucked, y'all. We fucked real bad. Real bad.
I agree 100%. So whether you play TVD next week, people talk about if he come out next week, he start. They always listen. Whether you start TVD, Emory Williams, Kurt, whoever you start, you could be starting your auntie. It don't matter as long as Mario is at the helm, calling plays. This is what it's going to be. This is Justin Herbert. This is your really talented quarterback. Whether it's let's say it's another quarterback we get. Let's say it's not TVD. But it'll be another really talented quarterback that we'll have back there that you won't see his full potential as long as Mario is handcuffing and handicapping whoever calling the plays. If you want to be the big dog, be the big dog. And part of sometimes being a big dog is letting somebody else like this is your wheelhouse. And listen, I get to him. He got the offensive line playing solid. The offensive line is playing solid. I'm not saying they're playing great. They're playing solid because you should be able to get 4th and 1s, but that's that's here and there. That's play calling. But as long as Mario, what I'm saying, he at the helm, this is what we got to look forward to. TVD, whoever else is back there, what I'm saying, this is what it's going to be. This was the same thing that happened at Oregon when you had a generational talent and he played well. But he wasn't, he wasn't in the Heisman. We want to talk a Heisman for Justin Herbert. In the draft, they weren't speaking high up on it. They thought he was going to be a middle of the pack, somebody like Jared Goff, somebody like that. They weren't talking like he's going to be that nigga that he is right now because he that guy right now, and y'all know that. But y'all ain't see that at Oregon. Y'all ain't see that. So let's be real. I'm not saying TVD gonna be Justin Herbert, but damn, come on now, come on now.
Man, we ain't saying nothing that we ain't been saying. So that's all we're gonna leave it with. But listen, we were looking like we were hating at first, but now all the other little shows like Mario, I tried to tell you. I tried to tell him, you feel me, told him, but it's all good, man. That's all we got for today. Tell us what y'all think in the comments. You feel
me?
Tell
us what you think.
Like and subscribe. Tell me what you think.
Because there's some of y'all that's on was on my head about TVD. Some of y'all was on my head, but hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, we want to dialogue with y'all. Whatever you got to comment, what you think, what you see should happen. What you think should happen with Florida State. How does Justin move and how we should move forward.
Yeah, Florida State. I got a good prediction for that. I bet you're gonna like this one. Here's a Jimmy joke about your mama that you might not like. Man, y'all.
Well, like my dog said, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. We're gonna be back with the Pick Father to get into some of this more action this week, and we'll give you some more of this Mario. This Mario smoke, because we got plenty of smoke for you, boy. We ain't gonna stop the smoke. Somebody called them Wario, so I was just like, dang, boy, they going in on you, boy. But till next time, man, this is your player partners from the bottom of the map.
From the bottom of the map.